Hello YouTube, this is Asatsu 5. Instead of filming with my webcam, filming with my phone so I can insert some photos. But basically this video is sharks live in the ocean. And you can also say that bears live in the woods, the Pope lives in Vatican City, which isn't actually a city, it's a country. Um, Yes, sharks live in the ocean, and this is a funny concept to some. I've recently been to the coast, posted some photos on social media of the shark that someone caught, and of course, everybody's like, "Ooh, a shark!" I took pictures of it because it's the biggest shark I've ever seen caught. It's definitely not the biggest shark ever caught there, but the biggest shark I ever caught was a 4 foot 8 inch black tip, and this was much bigger than that, or a good bit heavier than it at least. And like with my mom, when I posted the picture of it on my social media, my mom was like, "You see, Austin, look, the sharks in the ocean. They say if you go in the ocean, you're never less than 1,000 feet away from a shark." And I was like, "Yes, sharks are in the ocean. And when you're driving, you're never less than 1,000 feet away from someone texting, and driving." So, and this is pretty common when he posts pictures of catching sharks on social media. People are like, "Don't let your kids in the ocean. There's sharks there." So what? I've been going to Bolivar, Gilchrist, Crystal Beach, that area for over 20 years, and been in the water as someone's pulling in shark after shark. It never crossed my mind that the shark was going to attack me. It was just, I had to make my peace with the fact that if I go in the ocean, I'm in a different environment that I don't belong in. And once you make your peace with that, it's like, so what if there's sharks in there? Are those snakes in the woods? Those poison ivy? Uh, you're much more likely to die from getting in a car accident while driving. I started driving when I was 17 years old, and from the amount of time I spent in the ocean to the amount of time driving, I've been in, let's see, one, two, three wrecks. Two of which totaled my vehicle. One of which I took an ambulance ride, and the people I ran into had to be life flighted, which it wasn't my fault. None of my accidents were my fault. But the point that I'm trying to make is, getting on the highway is much more dangerous than going in the ocean. If we get like 10 people to die from shark bites in our nation, that is nothing compared to people getting in auto accidents, um, violence. Sharks really don't make that big of a indention in the human population. I mean, you obviously don't want to go to South Africa off the Cape of Good Hope and just go swimming there. You got to be smart about it. But in general, you're not going to come in contact with a shark. They don't like the taste of us. At least great whites don't like the taste of us. They like fattier food. Um, but bull sharks, guess what? They can go in freshwater. They can go up the ocean. They can go up the Mississippi. So, you might even see sharks inland as well. And you know what? There's really no big news about shark attacks in the news. During Shark Week, they have when sharks attack and all that stuff, and we hear about the absolutely extreme cases during Shark Week. But the thing about it is, they're so few in number. It's barely a statistic. Florida is shark bite capital of the United States, and then followed, I think, by California, and then the Gulf of Mexico. But like I said, much more people die on the road, on the highway, than they do of shark bite. And I'm willing to believe that, or willing to say, I don't know this for a fact, that more people die from drowning than shark attack. Um, you know, so that's the point of the video. Of course, sharks live in the ocean, and if you're not comfortable with letting your kids swim in the ocean, well, that's your deal. I literally been in the ocean as a kid swimming as a guy was pulling in shark after shark. The sharks were running that day, and he pulled in about three or four black tips, relatively small black tips, but and you know what? I was okay with it. It's kind of like if you go to Alaska and you're going to go camping or hunting, you're going to have to expect that that you're going to see some bears. And guess what? Moose kill more people in Alaska than bears. So that's the point of this video. I hope I'm not getting too redundant, but you just have to make your peace with the fact that when your time comes, it's going to come. I mean, we can take self-defense classes, we can learn to shoot, we can mitigate risk, but sometimes things are just out of your control, and you can either lock yourself up in a padded room your whole life, or you can experience life. And I personally like the ocean. I don't get in the ocean just for the sake of swimming like I used to. I'm saltwater fishing, I'm crabbing, maybe kayaking, but I'm not just out there swimming like I used to. But you know, I'm not bothered by it. I personally know more people that's been attacked by dogs than I have been attacked by sharks. And like I said, I've been in 2 major accidents, and you know, one really bad one, and I survived it, and I almost did it. Far as you know, the split-second decision I had to make in order to survive it, and it ended up ruining some other people's day. But it was either me or I wasn't intending on hitting the other people, but it was either I get out of the way of the oncoming traffic or the oncoming vehicle in the wrong road, going the wrong way, and they just ended up to be, and the people that I ran into were just collateral damage. I mean, I hate to say that, but you know, it was either I die along with this person, or I get off the road and hopefully nothing bad happens. And it just so happens when I got off the road, those people were right there. So I know more people who's been attacked by dogs. I've been in several accidents that were 2 of which totaled my vehicle, 1 of which was a near-death experience. And guess what? I even had a gun accident with a pellet gun, and it broke my finger. You know, I never shot myself or anything, but I've technically had a gun accident when I was younger. And so, you know, there you go. Fishing is one of the world's most dangerous sports and occupations. It should be considered an extreme sport. No one, it hardly ever makes the news when someone is bungee jumping or skydiving and something goes wrong. But holy crap, if a shark is caught in the ocean with people swimming. And just a quick funny story. One time my dad hooked what I believe to be a bull shark just because it was so big, and it broke our line. We got it right up to the shore, and right after we got it past the first sandbar, it snapped the line, and it started swimming back and forth the first sandbar. Well, this is not cool. You know, I'd really like a photo with that. By the way, as you're fixing to learn, we'll catch and release when it comes to sharks. But there were some people swimming beside us, and they didn't notice the shark, and we thought it was, you know, common courtesy to tell them what happened. So my stepmom walked to the other people and said, "Hey, I just want to let you know we were fishing and we hooked a shark and it broke the line. You can see it right there. And we just felt that you should know that." They left the beach. And you know what? That's completely fine. You know, if they don't feel comfortable getting in the ocean with a known shark in there, I mean, the shark was already there. We just pulled it to the first sandbar. But they left the beach. Like, they packed up and left. You know what we did? After we didn't see the fin for a while, we got back on the kayak, paddled the line out, and tried to catch it. And catch it. Usually when we fish, we're usually fishing for reds or sharks. Unless we're at Rollover Pass, then we're catching for flounder or going for flounder, reds, or trout. But that's it. That's the video. I'm Satsu5, and I'm out.